Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a sports podcast episode 8.5, 9.5? I don't remember. Irrelevant. You're probably wondering why is Ricky doing the intro? He never does the intro. Well, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I'm flying solo tonight, guys. Ian couldn't make it. So I decided to take it upon myself. I stepped up to the challenge, I think, as a communications major now that I am. Let's do it, right? Let's just try to fly solo, see how much dead air we can fill. Tonight was supposed to be our guest. Jason Dumas was supposed to be our guest, and I thought Ian gave me the option. He said, you could go ahead and run it with Jason, but I don't think I could do Jason Dumas justice without Ian, so that episode is going to be postponed for the time being, and I just whipped up something pretty quick. It's going to be a shorter episode, but that's fine. You guys won't be offended, I don't think. MLB, it's getting down to it. We got 2 weeks left, and there's two main playoff races. There was three before this weekend, but if we included the NL wildcard race for that number 2 wildcard spot, but that became more clear. Looks like the Cardinals, they now have a 3-game lead there, are all but a shoo-in for the second NL wildcard spot. So the two races that we do have, a lot that's still to be decided, is the NL West. The Dodgers trail the Giants by 1 game. Those have been the two best teams in the entire league all season long. And it's too bad they're both in the same division. One's going to have to play, they're probably each going to win 100 games. So one 100-game winner is going to have to play in a winner-take-all 1-game wild card game. And it's probably the last year of the 1-game playoff for the wild card game, as next year I think it's been rumored that it's going to be a 3-game series. So we enjoy it while we can, that 1-game. Just so many consequences in a 1-game playoff, But yeah, either the Dodgers or the Giants are going to have to play in that game, probably against the Cardinals, and they could have one bad game, and then boom, you got a 100-game winner that's one and done. So this NL West race decides everything. You're either the 1 seed or the 4 seed. It's kind of crazy how that works. But the Dodgers, like I said, they trail by 1 game. They've got 3-game series, 4 3-game series left, 12 games total. They're at Colorado, then they're at Arizona, then they're home against San Diego, then they're home against Milwaukee. So Colorado, Arizona, both very poor records. So those are your easier opponents. Then San Diego Padres, they've now turned into to a 500 team. And that's really disappointing. You got to think, for Padres fans and for people who love Fernando Tatis, expecting to see the Padres in the playoffs. I know I said on a sports podcast, one of the first episodes we ever did, we made way too early MLB predictions, and I said the Padres were going to be a team that were going to be there. But they've really fallen off towards the end of the season. They now trail, I think, by 3.5 for that second wildcard spot. They're only 3 games above 500. So an easier series there for the Dodgers, and then Milwaukee's going to be the real test in the last 3 games of the season. Milwaukee's a great team. The third team in the league to have clinched a playoff spot other than the Dodgers and the Giants. The Giants, they got at San Diego, at Colorado, home versus Arizona, and then home versus San Diego. So decently easy schedules for both of them. San Francisco's got the easier one because they don't have that series versus Milwaukee. Instead, they got an extra series versus San Diego. And 538 has it's a website for statisticians that make predictions. My kind of website, and it has the Giants 51% chance to make the playoffs, and the Dodgers a 49%, or not to make the playoffs, to win the division. Jeez, and the Dodgers 49% chance to win. So it's could go either way. It's a toss-up. Personally, the Giants, man, in my opinion, I think the Giants are going to hold off for this division because just when you thought they were going to fade away when they lost the number 1 spot there and they had a big series against LA, they hung tough and they took the lead back and they haven't let it go since. It is down to one game, but they've hung tough, and I think they're going to prove themselves here and win the division down the stretch here. Your other race, of course, is the AL wild card. The Red Sox have a one-game lead there for the one spot. Toronto in the two spot, and the Yankees trailed Toronto by a game and a half. Red Sox have a very easy schedule down the stretch, which looks good. They got the Mets for 2, then they got home versus the Yankees, then they go to the road, but it's Baltimore, and then they go on the road and it's Washington. So 538 gives them an 87% chance of making the playoffs. Toronto, they got at Tampa Bay starting tonight, at Minnesota, who gave the Yankees fits this past weekend, then the Yankees at home, and then Baltimore at home. Toronto's got a 74% chance to get in. Then the Yankees get the toughest road. You hate to see it, but you love to watch it. Home versus Texas, then they go on the road for the Red Sox, then on the road to Toronto, then at home versus Tampa. So the Yankees, if they get in, I hate to say it, but they'd earn it if they got in, because they got a tough road their last 12 games. But that pretty much all wraps up what we got to talk about the MLB. Few storylines to watch for. Well, Salvi Perez, a.k.a. Frank Nunez lookalike, hit 50 home runs to become the first, I believe I read earlier, that the first primary catcher to hit for 50 in a season. That's a good storyline. Will Shohei Ohtani finish out and take the home run crown, be the first pitcher to do so since Babe Ruth? That'll be pretty insane. There's a number of other smaller storylines to watch as well, but the MLB can't wait for playoff baseball, right? Can't wait for October. Nothing like it, huh? But yeah, switching gears now to the NFL. Week 2 is in the books, except for the Monday night game between the Packers and the Lions, which is getting underway as I speak here at 8:11 Eastern Time on a Monday night. Few takeaways. I'll go to the Patriots first because most of the fans of this podcast, the listeners of this podcast, are Patriot fans. Mac looked sharp, man. He really did. That's my quarterback. I'm going to say that a bunch of times, but 22 for 30, 186 yards, around 75% completion percentage for both games. That's just, you can't ask for anything better from a rookie. He hasn't made any stupid, in my opinion, no stupid passes, didn't force anything, has not been picked off yet. One drawback that I have noticed, I'm acting like this is a school project now, but one negative that I could think of for Mac Jones is he's really hard on himself, which that's a positive. Being hard on yourself, being disciplined, that's fine. But he shows his emotions too much. He really seems miserable on the sidelines sometimes, and the Patriots were never in danger of losing the game the other day, so there's no reason for him to look or appear miserable. I love the all business aspect. Don't get me wrong. He's Bill Belichick. He's a Patriot. Follows that Belichick philosophy, and you could tell in his interviews. But yeah, just maybe a little more maturity. Just when something little goes wrong, he's a perfectionist. It's good, but it's gets to be a little much. But the hallmark play from week 2 against the Jets was that end zone push. I don't know if anyone saw. I'm pretty sure everyone noticed Mac Jones in the pile there pushing Damian Harris into the end zone. You don't usually see a quarterback who handed the ball off in the backfield sprint up and help push the running back in the end zone. But he was in there. He was in the pile. That's my quarterback. Mac we trust. Big Mac, macaroni and cheese. You could go all day. A few other things that happened around the league. Patrick Mahomes finally lost in September. Patrick Mahomes losing, automatically a good day. Steelers losing, automatically a good day on my watch. Kyler Murray, probably an early MVP candidate. I know it's week 2. I know it's early. We got 15 games to go. But dudes look sharp. 5'10", Mr. Midget there, he's looked sharp. Scrambling, just great stuff. Talk about another rookie other than Mac Jones on the other end of the spectrum, Zach Wilson, a.k.a. the Mormon Sam Darnold. As Ian texted me yesterday that he was seeing ghosts, which was a Sam Darnold quote, but holy was he ever seeing ghosts. I mean, 4 picks, looked terrible. Poor guy, though. I mean, he played well in week 1, I think. But you go to the Jets, you're asking Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson are literally the same person. I don't know why you trade Sam Darnold. Maybe there's some personal issues there, and then draft a guy who literally is the same exact style. I mean, you had a chance with Trevor Lawrence, but you won 2 meaningless games and got yourself the number 2 pick. Although Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked too hot either. But yeah, poor Zach Wilson. You know, my heart bleeds for you, man. You're on the Jets, snake-bitten franchise. A really rough day for quarterbacks as far as injuries go. Tua Tagovailoa went down with ribs. Dalton was out with a knee injury, I think. Nothing season-ending so far, thankfully. Mayfield was out for a bit. Carson Wentz, of course his name's on this list, was out for a bit. And Tyrod Taylor left and didn't return. So, tough day for quarterbacks. Fortunately, nothing season-ending. Anyone who had those guys in fantasy probably were hurting a little bit. But yeah, so NFL, you love to see it. Week 2, Patriots are 1-1. I'd prefer 2-0. They should be 2-0 after that loss to Miami last week. That really should have been prevented. They got the Saints at home next week, and then welcome the Bucs to town week 4, which is going to be the game of the year. But early on, great to have football back, right? It's just great. It'll determine my mood on Sunday evenings for the next 3 or 4 months. So it's a blessing and a curse, but mostly a blessing just to have football back. That's all I got for both leagues. I know I'm moving pretty rapidly here. If you guys are listening, you're probably like, oh crap, the episode's already winding down, because moving on to the trivia segment. And you're probably thinking, well, trivia usually involves Ian and I, asking a question to each other, which it does, usually. But let's change it up. Let's get the crowd involved, huh? How about you play along at home? Little game show segment here. Play along at home. How do I word this? I didn't write down the full question, so I gotta just think about how to word it. It's about football. It's a crazy rule that some of you may not know exists. So I hope I blow a few people's minds here. I'm just going to describe a hypothetical here. So it's a 2-point conversion. Or no, I'll go an extra point. An extra point snapped from the 15-yard lines, 33-yard try. Say this was the opening touchdown of the game, so it's 6-0 pending this extra point. Extra point gets blocked by the defense. Defense picks it up, runs it back. As you probably know, if they ran it back into the end zone, they get 2 points. Okay? I hope I'm not giving you too much of a hint here, but you get 2 points, and then the score would be 6-2, right? So that's a rare play, but it has happened before. So the defense picks it up, runs it back. Okay? Say at the last second, some hustle play from the offense, say like the kicker or the punter, catches up to the defensive player who has the ball and is slowing down and coasting and showboating, like, oh yeah, we're going to run this back for 2 points, make it a 3-point swing because it could have been 7-0, and instead it's going to be 6-2. Well, Mr. Chase Down guy, the punter, the holder, comes back, strips, punches the ball out of the defensive player's hand right before he's about to go in the end zone. A few other defensive players who are running alongside him fall on the ball, and then punter, chase down guy, jumps on top of the person who fell on the ball. So, what does that mean? What I just described to you would probably be a safety, right? Did I get that right? Did I explain that right? Punter falls on the ball, right? Did I say that? Punter falls on the ball, covers it up, defense jumps on top of him. Okay? What happens? What I just described is a safety on a normal play. What happens if it's a try attempt, if it's a 1 extra point, okay? Gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time's up. If you answered that is 1 point for the defense, you are correct. 1 point safety. Yes, there is a way other than extra points to score 1 point in the NFL. So, if that was the opening score of the game, or the opening touchdown of the game. What is the score now? 6-1. That's right. You can have one on the scoreboard in the NFL. In football. One. You can have 1 point. I hope I blew some of your minds. This is a new rule. It was added in 2015 when the extra point was moved back to the 15-yard line. And it can also happen on 2-point conversions, say like a pick six, a pick off, all the way back, fumble, offense falls on it, boom, safety. It's almost impossible to get a safety when you're starting that far on the plus side of the field, but it could happen. It has not happened in the 5 years that they've had this rule, the 5 or 6 seasons they've had this rule, but you never know. And as a guy who loves to see weird things in football, I really want to see that 1-point safety. But yes, you can score 1 point and you can have one on the scoreboard. That would just look so weird. But next part of this trivia segment, I know it's kind of weird because it's just me, but I'm going to show off a little bit. Some of you may know that I have this hidden talent. I don't know. You're probably confused, those who are watching, why I just grabbed a cowboy hat, but I did. I'm going to put this cowboy hat over my eyes just so you know I'm not looking at anything. I'm not cheating. And now I'm going to recite. Pretty nice cowboy hat. I'm going to recite every Tom Brady playoff game, okay? Every playoff game and the final score and who he played. All right? There's 45 of them, which is just insatiable. He's played 45 playoff games, almost 3 seasons worth. And I'm going to name every single one, going in chronological order. Jeez. So those of you who are listening, you're just going to have to take my word for it that I'm not cheating, okay? But those of you who are watching, look, there's nothing in the hat. I can't read anything. This is just something I picked up, and this is how I picked up over time, watching highlights and stuff. It's just how my mind works, so don't be freaked out. So let's start. ...2001 divisional. Beat the Raiders 16-13. The Tuck Rule game. 2001 AFC Championship. Beat the Steelers 24-17, I believe. Could be 21. 24-17, I think. Beat the Steelers. And then 2001 Super Bowl 36. Beat the Rams 20-17. Iconic. Didn't make the playoffs in 2002. 2003 divisional. Beat the Titans 17-14. 2003. What am I up to? Conference Championship. Beat the Colts 24-14. 2003, Super Bowl 38, beat the Panthers 32-29. And those of you who are watching along, you can look up the answers to make sure I'm right. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Call me out because I might mess up on a score or two. 2004, divisional. Beat the Colts 20-3. 2004, AFC Championship. Beat the Steelers 41-27. 2004, Super Bowl 39. Beat the Eagles 24-21. 2005 wild card beat wild card beat the Jaguars 28-3. 2005 divisional lost to the Broncos 27-13. 2006 wild card beat the Jets 37-16. 2006 divisional beat the Chargers 24-21. 2006 AFC Championship lost to the Colts 38-34. I'm getting in a rhythm now. 2007 divisional beat the Jaguars 31-20. 2007 AFC Championship beat the Chargers 21-12. 2007 Super Bowl 42 lost to the Giants 17-14. 2000 missed the playoffs in 2008. 2009 wild card lost to the Ravens 33-14. 2010 divisional lost to the Jets 28-21. 2011 divisional beat the Broncos and Tim Tebow 45-10. 2011 AFC Championship beat the Ravens 23-20. 2011 Super Bowl 46 lost to the Giants 21-17. 2012 divisional beat the Texans 41-28. 2012 AFC Championship lost to the Ravens 28-13. 2013 divisional beat the Colts 43-22. 2013 AFC Championship lost to the Broncos 26-16. 2014 divisional beat the Ravens 35-31. 2014 Conference Championship beat the Colts 45-7. 2015 Super Bowl 49 beat the Seahawks 28-24. 2015 divisional beat the Chiefs 27-20. 2015 AFC Championship lost to the Broncos 20-18. 2016 divisional beat the Texans 34-16. 2000 why am I losing track of the year? 2016 Conference Championship beat the Steelers 36-17. 2000 I just had a panic attack that I wasn't recording. Sorry, that's why I looked. I'm not looking at anything. 2017 no. Am I up to 17? 16 Super Bowl 51 beat the Falcons 34-28. 2017 divisional beat the Titans 35-14. 2017 Conference Championship beat the Jaguars. What was the score there? 24-20. 2018 divisional beat the Chargers 41-28. 2018 Conference Championship beat the Chiefs 37-31. 2018 Super Bowl beat the Rams 13-3. 2019 lost to the Titans 20-13. And then with the Buccaneers in 2020, they beat the Washington football team 31-23. Then they beat the Saints 30-20. Beat the Packers 31-26. That was so in order. There was wild card Washington, divisional against the Saints, and then conference championship against the Packers. And then in the Super Bowl 55 beat the Chiefs 31-9. So there you go. There you have it. All 45 Tom Brady playoff games. I did it. My voice feels like it's going to bleed for some reason. But there you go. That's part of the trivia segment. That was my trivia question. Name all 45 Tom Brady playoff games and the scores. I knew I could do it. I've done it before. But that's kind of a weird talent that I have. If I was part of a fraternity, that's how I'd introduce myself. Say I could do that and then do it. But that takes us probably to our weekly recap. Winding down the episode here. Weekly recap. Cover things that are going on in my life. I have a following announcement to make. I'm going to take my talents to Umpy Baseball and play baseball for a Division III college. But NCAA, nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Coming to a university near you, Ricky Goupil, playing for Umpy. I would like to now take this moment to rescind any comment I have made in the past about Umpy Baseball, because I was not a part of it then, and I am now. So I'm rescinding any negative comment I've made. Ian, you can keep those comments out there, that question that we've asked more than once to a few of our guests. But now I'm part of it, I'm a part of it. I want to be a part of turning the program around, not being that, I have to say it, what we used to say, the worst college baseball team in the nation. I don't think we are. It starts tomorrow night. Can't wait. Just can't wait to get after it. But there you go. Those of you who were listening, I put on the hat like I was committing to a school. But I'm super excited, and that's my announcement for the week. Got to officially announce it. I would have waited till Ian got back on, even though he knows, just to have the reaction. But it starts tomorrow night, so I had to do it now. And then the other thing I need to cover for this weekly recap, what's going on in our lives, is fantasy football. Show me your TDs, that league. I'll go through the standings of that league. I know week 2 isn't officially wrapped up, but pretty much everything has been decided with the exception of maybe one game. So in the dumb division, Ian in first place. He's 2-0. Myself, also tied for first place at 2-0. So the sports podcast reppin', we're 4-0 combined. And then Grant, 2-0. Grant, you drafted a good team this year, man. You made a lot of people eat their words, I will say. You're 2-0 to start. great start. And then Mike Boone, 0-2, got a little unlucky, and then Will, bless his heart, 0-2 as well. And I don't think he's going to win many other games. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, Will. Maybe you will. Get it? Maybe you will. Prove me wrong. That's all I'll say. I don't see your roster succeeding, man. Especially with a recent transaction that you made. Maybe that was an emotional decision, but who knows? And then in the dumber division, Mike Melanson leads that one 2-0. In sole possession of first place is Mike Melanson at 2-0. Gabe and Dakota. Gabe 1-1. Dakota probably after tonight, unless Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams completely crap the bed tonight for the Packers. Dakota's going to win that one and become 1-1. Jason has lost. He's 0-2. And then Frank is probably going to lose to Dakota, and he's 0-2. So that's what the Show Me Your TDs Football League, Fantasy League is shaping up to be after the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm happy with where my team stands. I know Ian is as well. Both 2-0, and should be a fun league this year. We got 10 guys. It's going to be great. And we'll keep you updated as the weeks go by there. But that's pretty much all I got for this week's episode of a sports podcast. How'd I do? I think I did decently well flying solo. It's hard to do. Solo podcasts are not fun. I've done it before. Not with this podcast, obviously, but they're hard to do. You got to fill a lot of dead air, and you got to listen to yourself talk, which I've really pretty much done all evening here. Listen to myself ramble. But thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Hopefully Ian will be back and we'll be able to host Jason as our guest. A few more episodes left this season, and then the big trivia finale, which I'm very much looking forward to again, will be coming up. Then we'll take a break, as we did between season 1 and season 2. Take a little bit of a month and a half, 2-month break, just because you don't want to burn out. You run out of content. But season 2 of a sports podcast. Thank you guys for listening to this edition. Take it easy.